Hi guys. First of all, thanks a load for joining this group. Really, really appreciate your support. And I hope that you're going to thoroughly enjoy the next however many weeks that we trick train together. And I hope that you really get something out of this course. So, week one, I'm going to talk about luring. Luring used to be the pauper of training. People used to look down on you and said, "Oh, I lured that trick." But actually, things are changing and luring is coming back into favour. In reality, I don't think it ever went away. Pure clicker trainers used to look down on somebody who's luring because they just used a technique called shaping. But there's a problem with shaping, is that you can actually generate an awful lot of stress. And in this environment, with what we've got going on at the moment, stress is the last thing that we or our dogs need. So we're going to lure. Hang on a sec. Back again. So luring is going to be our technique. What is luring? Well, it's basically using a reward that your dogs really like. And there's lots of different rewards that we can use, but most of the time we're going to be using food reward because food, one of those core necessities. There are three basic necessities that our dogs have in life: food, water, and sex. Most of them are neutered, I guess, and not really sure that's a reward we want to be offering. Water is something you need to have available all the time, but food is their equivalent of payment, and that's what we're going to use. So one thing I want you to prepare is make sure you've got loads of treats. We'll be talking about that later in the course, actually, because if we're struggling to get treats, if you're limited to the number of boxes of cocktail sausages you can buy at the supermarket, then maybe we can share some of our favourite recipes for home-baked treats. So yes, you need a lot of treats and they need to be cut up small. That'll make them last longer too. So I'm going to have cocktail sausages, cheese. I might have some squeezy cheese as well. That can be really useful, Primula tubes of cheese. And I've also got some commercial treats. I've got some Fieldwells treats, and a whole range of other things that are just sitting in my treat box. I also train occasionally with kibble. It's a low value treat, but sometimes a low value lure can be really useful. It keeps excitement levels down and sometimes enables the dog to think. If I'm luring Axis with something he really likes, he just gets a bit dizzy and it's like, oh my gosh, I need the food. And he doesn't really think about what he's actually doing. Whereas if I lure him with something that's lower value, he might actually use his small but busy brain to actually think about what he's doing as well as what he's getting. So I hope that makes sense. Now, the trick that we're going to train, first of all, is going to be a rear paw target. Why did I choose that? Well, it's actually quite useful for later on when we do things like walking backwards. And I bet it's something that most of you haven't done before. And for those of you who have got dogs who do agility or canicross or heel work to music, or in fact, any sort of other activity in sport, your dog being able to use their back legs and know where their back legs are is a really good thing. And so what it looks like is your dog stops with their back feet on a surface that's different to their front feet. That surface that their back feet are on could be raised, or it might be a mat on the ground. And that's why I said about collecting items like a washing up bowl, which can be put upside down, a biscuit tin, a thick book, or a mat of some sort, a rubbery mat, a tea towel, a carpet square, a doormat, anything really. And I'll also do some demoing of rear paw targeting on a whole range of different things, from a backdoor step, one of my dog's raised beds. It really doesn't matter. Get creative. That's really my advice there. How and when do we train? Well, I train for maybe 10 to 15 minutes at a time for each trick. And then we have a break and we play. Sometimes it's less. As you know, Base is my youngster. He's a complete novice at all of these. He literally, everything that we do is going to be first time for him. And so you won't feel that you're any different to me in that regard. Base is going to be learning right from the start. And sometimes for him, training for 10 minutes could be a long time because, he's a young dog and he gets easily distracted and thinks about other things. So it depends. If I'm training Darwin, I could train for half an hour at a time, but that would be boring for him. So we try and mix things up. That's, I think, everything I'm going to talk about now. But luring is our technique for the day. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit more in the next video.